I've always sort of felt that Sam isn't responsible at times, but it's changed quite a bit. And, you know, I have 5 kids, and I always felt like 4 of them sort of matured, and Sam at 30 is finally happening. So I'm really happy for him.
Honestly, Sam's dad is a legend, classic. Literally calls out his son for being immature his whole life, pretty much, being the screw up, being the one that was the lost cause, and now all of a sudden, you know, he's finally picked himself up. You know, it's like a compliment that isn't the compliment, like a backhanded compliment. It's just, I mean, what a way to reassure Citra's family about the man that Sam is, and that is a very irresponsible man.
Us a little bit. Like, I'm trying to make a good impression on Herman here, telling him like how much of a up I was in the past. Like, what good is that doing me? Stick to the good stuff.
I guess the point that your dad was trying to make is that there is no good stuff. That was the point he was trying to make. I've never had anything good to say about this kid ever, and this is the first time ever because he's found someone that actually can allow him or bring out the maturity in him. But then even that is still subjective. Is Sam mature yet? If you ask me, I'm gonna give it a hell no. But let's continue.
I knew the laws were strict in Indonesia, but like for one joint, you go to prison for 5, 20 years, whatever. And now I have to tell Citra's dad about my drug diversion program. I'm screwed.
So like end up to use that?
Because like I used to be addicted to pain medicine, and I take that now to stay sober. And like Herman's got an amazing poker face, stone cold, like no expression. My heart's racing like 1,000,000 miles an hour. Just there was a program, the diversion, that would have made it easier, like for me to kind of. I just basically be good for a year, but I didn't get the paperwork applied for in time.
He wonders why his dad had nothing positive to say. You didn't get the paperwork done in time, and you want her father to take you seriously? Like, for real, for real? Does his behavior even show maturity? That he's responsible? I mean, obviously, we already know this information anyway, because I've talked about it before in another video, right? You haven't seen it, check it out. But it's interesting how somebody can sit there and be like, oh my God, they had nothing positive to say about me, but then they continue to do things that shows why there was nothing positive to say about you. Wow.
6 months up to a year. I mean, it's hard to say with a felony.
Terus bagaimana dengan Citra kalau kamu di penjara? Kalau seandainya kamu makin narkoba atau sejenis obat yang dilarang, pemerintah sini, saya nggak akan.
Listen, if I was a dad, I would take his daughter away now. You know, this man has allowed your daughter to fly all the way from Indonesia to the States, knowing that he has to get a hearing of the diversion like the day before the wedding. I believe it's the day before the wedding. And if it doesn't go well, guess what? He's not going to be there for your daughter. But of course they waited, I guess, because obviously these two did end up getting married anyway in real time, which is, you know, it is what it is.
You understand that?
Yeah. The only thing I'm addicted to is marrying your daughter, and like
The only thing I'm addicted to is marrying your daughter. I mean, listen, to be honest with you, can somebody answer this question? Has Sam given anyone the impression, especially people who have been down the road that he's been down with addiction, right? Has he given you signs of somebody that's actually now recovered? Has he given you signs of somebody that's actually now on the right path? Has he given you signs of somebody that is never going to relapse ever again? I mean, obviously, I can't necessarily answer that because I've never been down that path before. That's why I can only ask people that have. But if I'm just a guess, being, I guess, the person outside the box who has no clue, I'm still going to say probably not. And the only reason why I'm going to say this, because if I add up the patterns that we've seen so far, right, for example, he finds out about the fact that he can't drink, even though he doesn't like drink, but he complains about it. He finds out about, you know, like the laws of just smoking, anything that involves something toxic in your body. Every time he finds that he can't do it, he has something to say about it. If he was really, really clear, then he wouldn't have anything to say about it. Each time you hear about these things, you'd be like, thank God I can't do it anymore, because I don't want to do it anymore, because I know that stuff isn't good for me. But instead, he's always like, well, you know what they say, right? Once they tell you that you can't have something, you then want it. Children say that. Children live by that. Immature people live by that. Mature people don't live by that. But that is not the truth. It is, to be fair, a little bit, but it's not the truth. It is the truth, but it's not something that people would use, someone that's mature would use as an excuse, because obviously if you're mature, you're going to have, what's that thing called? You're gonna be able to restrain yourself. You see what I'm saying? Clearly he doesn't have strength like that. What is he's not showing that he has that type of strength, which is why he's been relapsing for God knows how long. But listen, I really hope that for his sake, he doesn't relapse ever again. Whether or not their relationship works or not, I mean, that's a different conversation. I just hope for his sake he never relapses again, for his own sake, of course. But also at the same time, I really hope for the safety of her as well, you know what I mean? But hey, I'm still under the conclusion that this family only really wanted to get their daughter to America for that green card still. Nothing's really told me otherwise at this moment in time. Until that happens, I will stick by what I say, because it's just weird to me that not only has Citra come to the States to marry Sam, but then also her sister ends up being in a relationship with his brother. And of course, she's going to end up being in America too. So I just find that very interesting. I'm not saying that these things don't happen. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that Citra has come across many red flags of Sam's. And one of the biggest red flags is that he's a consistent liar, or he at least withheld information. Somebody that either lies or withheld information is somebody that you can't really trust, give or take. I mean, the man didn't even tell you about his diversion until you landed in America. I mean, that's the biggest red flag of them all. You know what I mean? And then his dad did not even say anything good about him? Hey, that, I don't know how that can even go ignored. But hey, you guys let me know what you're thinking, and we can talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.